In this video, we're going to discuss the crusher behavior. So you can hear the crushers happening right now, kind of moving along. You can hear them thudding against the ground as they move. And I've got to get underneath these columns. So let me time this right. Ooh, got hit a little bit there. I am not going to make it. Oh, I made that one. Okay, I've got like 40 health points left. I should put a health potion on the end of this. Ooh, I made it. I got my weapon. Woohoo! Now I got to make it out of here. There's no way out other than the way I came back. And let's see if I can make it. I'm probably going to die. But let's just see. Alright, 1, 2. Alright, these are the tricky ones. Go, 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 go. I made it! Woohoo! Yay! Alright. So that was actually pretty exciting because I wasn't sure I was going to make it. So let me show you how that works. These are kind of fun. So Crusher is very similar to Slider, right? You may have seen a video before I did where the objects are sliding back and forth or up and down. This is very similar, but it's specifically designed for a scenario like this, where you have some object that is coming down and trying to crush the player. So, you know, the clear and obvious choice was a large brick column, right? So here's the behavior itself. We have the trigger range, which is a detection of where the player is. So you may have noticed in the beginning, we only heard that one thud. And as I got closer, we heard the second thud. And as I went down the path, if you were able to hear it beyond me screaming, you may have heard the other thuds. That's because I kept getting closer and activating additional columns by my presence, by my proximity to the columns. So that's the trigger range. Then we have the move speed. Now I varied the move speed a little bit on these so that they would be somewhat out of sync. They're obviously all starting at the same level, and so they're all going to be starting off at the same place. But over time, that'll become out of sync if you change vary the move speed. Then you have the damage range. Now this is tricky because the damage range is basically saying how close does the player need to be in order for the object to detect the player and damage them, right? So it might be tempting to put like something very small like 0 or 1 and you want it to be like a precise contact, right? The bottom of the column hits the player and it starts damaging the player. It doesn't really work that way. The object itself has an origin point, and that origin point is going to vary depending on which object you choose. So this took me a while. I started, I think, with 5, and then I went to 10, and I went to 15, and in each case, as I'm playing through and testing it, it's not hurting me at all. And so I was kind of starting to get worried, and I hit 20, and it was perfect. It hit me as I got close. And then I kind of backed it down a little bit more. I started like I think 16, 17, 18, really dialed it in, but 20 was actually the right number for that particular object. Could be entirely different for the object that you choose. So just, play with it a little bit and get it right. I would say don't set up 4 of them and get them all right. Set up 1 of them, get that one right, and then, go accordingly. That's probably the easiest way to go. We have the damage amount. Now, again, it might be tempting to set this at a high number because you think you're getting crushed, right? It should be a high number, but look how hard I got hit just by those first couple of columns. I was down to 40 hit points, and it's because it's a damage amount that's being allocated I think it's every frame. So it ticked off a lot of damage very quickly. So 5 is actually pretty high. I could have even gone down lower and it would have still been enough. But I don't know. Again, I think it just, for your scenario, it might be different. So play around with it and see what feels right to you. Now we have the use variable switch. Now this is a new feature that you'll be seeing in a lot of different behaviors. And I am going to cover this in a different video. but I'll just touch on it here in case you're curious about it, and then when the new video comes out. I'll try to remember to link to it, I guess. I don't know where this is. This is popping up in multiple videos or multiple behaviors. So I don't even know where it is being applied. But if you see this, what does it mean? Well, let's suppose there were a switch on this wall. So let's just add a switch real quick. That's that. We'll stick with the aesthetic. Okay. So we have our switch, and let's say this is our variable switch. So you would have to give variable switch. So it's kind of intended, it was started to be intended for this light. So here's the switch. I would choose this switch behavior, and then that is essentially kind of looking like a dimmer switch. Let's suppose I have a dimmer switch with like 5 settings, right? And the lowest setting is the lowest light, and then the second light is a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. Or a ceiling fan operates very much the same way. You pull the chain and it starts spinning, and pull the chain again, it goes a little faster, and so on. Same principle. So that's a variable switch. The speed is variable, or whatever it is, right? So it may be amount of light, it may be the speed, whatever it is that you're controlling with that switch can vary. And so that's the take home for that. And if you choose to do that, then this switch might control 1 or 2 of these and give the player a chance to change the speed variation, and maybe that would be a cool behavior, like a cool puzzle to set up, to where if they dial it in right, it's a little easier on them. I don't know. Play around with that, but that's what that's for. So basically what it's asking is, what is the name of the switch that's going to be your variable switch? You have to reference the name of the object there, and then this is obviously if you say no, then it doesn't matter, but if you say yes, then you have to reference the switch that controls that object. All right. So then we have the sound slots 1, 2, 3, or 0, 1, and 2, I should say. I always go back to the description of the behavior itself as a reminder. So sound 0 is the crusher loop. So that's that stone grinding sound that you heard as the columns were moving up and down. Then we have the crush sound. So that would be, what sound does it make when it contacts the player? I chose not to use a sound in that case because the player was already kind of giving his hurt sound, so I didn't feel it was necessary in this case. And then you have the last one, which is the crusher hit sound. So in other words, once the object reaches the surface that it stops at, what sound should that make? Now, in this case, it's a big loud thump, right? Because we have this big heavy column hitting a stone floor. But, if you're using something a little lighter, maybe it sounds different, but that's up to you. But that's the crusher behavior demonstrated for you. If you've enjoyed the video, or if you've learned anything new, please be sure to click the like button down below. That helps me out. If you're new here, or if you just haven't subscribed yet, would love to have you stick around. Please be sure to subscribe. And lastly, if you'd like a notification for whenever new videos are posted, the bell icon's your friend. That'll notify you anytime a new video is ready for you. But that's it. Thanks so much for watching all the way through. I always appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Hey, don't forget there's a written guide for every behavior, including ones I haven't yet covered on this channel. And if you want to learn some more, why don't you check out this video next.